We are only limited by the questions we ask, the knowledge we embrace, and our ability to keep an open mind and heart. Hello, friend. Miles here. Welcome to Abundance Fountain. In this episode, I'll be voicing a powerful message from Dr. Joe Dispenza and his work, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. One of the biggest lies we have come to believe about ourselves and our true nature is that we are nothing more than physical beings defined by a material reality, devoid of dimension and vital energy, and separate from God, which I trust you know by now is within us and all around us. To keep the truth about our real identity from us is not only enslaving, but it asserts that we are finite beings living a linear life that lacks real meaning. The dictum that there are no realms or no life beyond our physical world and that we have no control over our destiny is not a truth that you and I should ever believe in. It is my desire that you have become empowered by a bit of knowledge in this work to help you see who you really are. You are a multidimensional being who creates your reality. Helping you accept this idea as your law and new belief has been my labor in this book. Breaking the habit of being yourself means that you're going to have to lose your mind and create a new one. But when we fully lay down the old, familiar life or mind and start creating the new, there is a moment between the two worlds that is bereft of anything we know, and most rush back from this void to the familiar. That place of uncertainty, the unknown, is what the maverick, the mystic, and the saint know to be fertile ground. To live in the realm of the unpredictable is to be all potentials at once. Can you become comfortable in this empty space? If you can, then you are at the nexus of a great creative power, the I Am. To biologically, energetically, physically, emotionally, chemically, neurologically, and genetically change ourselves, and to stop living by the unconscious affirmation that competition, strife, success, fame, physical beauty, sexuality, possessions, and power are the be-all and end-all in life, is when we break from the chains of the mundane. I fear that this so-called recipe for ultimate success in life has kept us looking outside of ourselves for answers and true happiness, when the real answers and true joy have always been within. So where and how do we find our true self? Do we create a persona that is shaped by associations within the outer environment, which penetrates the lie? Or do we identify with something within us that is as real as everything outside us and create a unique identity, which has awareness and a mind that we can emulate? That's right, it is that infinite resource of information and intelligence, personal and universal, that is intrinsic to all human beings. It is an energetic consciousness that is filled with such coherence that when it moves through us, we can only call it love. When the door opens, its frequency carries such vital information that it changes who we are from within. This is an experience that I have humbly learned to live for. It is my hope that you know that you always have access to it, if you choose. But if you live life as a materialist, then you will struggle with its existence. Why? Well, realists will use their senses to define reality. And if they can't see it, taste it, smell it, touch it, or hear it, then it doesn't exist, right? This duality is a perfect scheme for keeping people lost in the illusion. Just keep their attention on an outer reality that is ultimately so sensually pleasurable or chaotic, and going within will seem too difficult. Your attention is where your energy is. Put all of your attention on the external material world, and that becomes your investment in reality. On the contrary, command your mindfulness to unfold a deeper aspect of yourself, and your energy will expand that reality. You, as a human being, have the freedom to place your awareness on anything. To develop your ability to manage and properly use this abundance of power is the gift. Wherever you put your thoughts and your awareness becomes your reality. If you stop believing that thought is real, you will fall back into materialism and stop doing the work. You simply choose some emotional addiction or habit for immediate gratification and then talk yourself out of possibility. Herein lies the dilemma. The future reality we create in our minds does not yet provide any sensory feedback. And by the quantum model, our senses should be the last to experience what we create. For this reason, many of us make materialism our law once again, and we go unconscious. I want to remind you that all things material come from the invisible field of the immaterial, beyond space and time. Simply said, by planting seeds in this world, you see that in time they bear fruit. If you can experience a dream so completely in mind and emotion within the inner world of potentials, then it has already happened. So just surrender. It has to sprout into your outer life. It is the law. But here's the hardest part of this whole process. Making or taking the time for your precious self to actually do it. That's it. We are divine creators. It is what we do when we are inspired and pressed to know more. But you and I are also creatures of habit. We develop habits for everything. We possess 3 brains that allow us to evolve from knowledge to experience to wisdom. To make whatever we learn implicit through the repetition of experience, we can teach the body to become the mind. That is our definition of a habit. The problem is that we have developed habits that limit our true greatness. The survival emotions, which are so addictive, cause us to live with limitation, feeling separate from the source, and forget we are creators. In fact, the corresponding states of mind that correlate with stress truly are the reasons why we are controlled by our emotions, live by a lower denominator of energy, and are enslaved by a set of beliefs rooted in fear. These so-called normal psychological states have been accepted by most as ordinary and common. They are real altered states of consciousness. Hence, I want to emphasize that anxiety, depression, frustration, anger, guilt, pain, worry, and sadness, the emotions regularly expressed by billions of people, are why the masses live life knocked out of balance and altered from the true self. And maybe the supposed altered states of consciousness achieved in meditation through true mystical moments are actually natural human states of consciousness that we should strive to live by on a regular basis. I accept that contention as my truth. It's time to wake up and to be the living example of the truth. It's not enough to espouse these understandings. It's time to live them, demonstrate them, and to be at cause in all areas of our lives. When you and I embody such ideals as truth and make them a habit, then they innately become part of us. Since we are wired to create habits, why not make true greatness, compassion, genius, ingenuity, empowerment, love, awareness, generosity, healing, quantum manifestation, and divinity our true habits? To remove the layers of personal emotions we decided to memorize as our identity, to shed our selfish limitations that we have given such power to abandon false beliefs and perceptions about the nature of reality and self, to overcome our neural habituations of destructive traits that repeatedly undermine our evolution, and to relinquish the attitudes that have kept us from knowing who we really are all part of finding the true self. There is an aspect of the self that is a benevolent being who waits behind all of these veils. This is who we are when we are not feeling threatened, fearing loss, trying to please everyone, racing to succeed and scrambling to get to the top at any cost, regretting the past or feeling inferior, hopeless, desperate, or greedy, just to name a few. When we overcome and remove whatever stands in the way of our infinite power and self, we are demonstrating a noble deed, not only for ourselves, but for all of humanity. So the greatest habit you will ever break is the habit of being yourself, and the greatest habit you will ever create is the habit of expressing the divine through you. That is when you inhabit your true nature and identity. It is to inhabit self. Thank you, Dr. Joe Dispenza. You can get Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself audiobook for free with a trial from Audible, a service provided by Amazon. I've got the link below in the description for the book, where you can click on the free trial to Audible and get this audiobook for free. You know, once you break the habit of being yourself and truly change your mind, your life will never be the same. You're not doomed by your genes and hardwired to be a certain way for the rest of your life. A new science is emerging that empowers all human beings to create the reality they choose. In Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Dr. Joe Dispenza bridges the gap between the sciences of quantum physics, neuroscience, brain chemistry, biology, and genetics to show you what is truly possible. Not only will you be given the necessary knowledge to change any aspect of yourself, but you will be taught the step-by-step tools to apply what you learn in order to make measurable changes in any area of your life.